All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So I've been getting questions about whether the Axon 7 that I'm using works on Verizon or Sprint. So let me zoom into the camera, get it to focus here. You can see there's a Verizon SIM card and a Sprint SIM card. And I'm going to put them in at the same time here on video. And I want to get, want you guys to see me put it in so you can see here. This is a dual SIM phone. So, let's watch it get service here. Does not support CDMA in 2. So it doesn't support the Sprint SIM card, but it does in fact support, well, let me see what it says here first, because I know it supports the Verizon SIM card. So let's turn on the SIM card number 2 if it'll let me. Nope. So the model that I'm using does not support Sprint, but it does support Verizon. I had already tried the Verizon SIM, but you can see it says dual SIM for calling by voice and motion over Verizon. The second SIM from Sprint, it won't even let me turn it on for some reason, but I do have full LTE there for Verizon, as you can see, and also have the Verizon data turned on. This phone, the Axon 7, does not support the Sprint version, but again, remember, mine is a prototype, and I've had this probably for 2 months now, so I don't know if that's the reason that mine doesn't work with Sprint or does work with Verizon. I don't know, but it definitely works with AT&T and Verizon and Sprint. Excuse me, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. And as you can see here, it does not work with Sprint. So got an error message with the Sprint SIM card, and that's where it's at. So to answer that question, for a lot of people, they were wondering, did it work with Verizon? I went ahead and threw a Sprint SIM card in there as well, so you can see that it doesn't work with Sprint. But it does, in fact, work with Verizon with full LTE. So I hope that answered a lot of questions that people have been messaging me about. I hope this takes care of it for you. Just a quick video on the Axon 7 running on LTE for Verizon. So, remember now, this model that I have is not a US model, even though I have LTE bands on here. This is a prototype that I've been using. So, the US version probably is only GSM. I actually haven't even really followed the US version too much because I've been using this one, and this one has LTE for T-Mobile, AT&T, and now I've shown you Verizon. So I hope you guys have any more questions, just post them in the comments. And I'll give you a close-up. Now I'll probably add a screen record in here too, so you can kind of see it close. If this wasn't, this should be good enough. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, this is good. But it does work on Verizon. Some people also ask me about the Moto G working on Verizon. So does it work on Verizon? And that phone works on all carriers, the Moto G. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just put that one in here too. 1 second, I'll give you a snippet of that one too. All right, so I got the Moto G here. This is the Moto G4. So I'm going to actually put the Sprint SIM card in first, just to kind of see. Because people have been questioning whether or not it does work with Sprint or not and Verizon. This one is supposed to work with all carriers. So let's try the Sprint one first. Let's power on here. Got my Moto family. And then I'll put this Verizon one in next. Appreciate all the people showing love on the Moto Z videos. Wow. Still getting a lot of hate on that BlackBerry video, but I guess just keep it coming. I guess I'm not really too worried about it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. When I read these comments, man, it's always hilarious to see some of the comments that people put in here. All right, so the Moto G is fired up. I'm gonna turn off airplane mode, and let's see what signal we get. Searching for service. Sprint. There you go. So that answers that question, whether or not it works on all carriers. Some people have been asking me that, and I never thought to put the Sprint SIM card in there, but I'm doing it now on video for you. So let's go to Cellular Networks, and let's see here. It's on global right now, so let's try LTE and see what happens. There's also got carrier settings down here. Oh wow, yeah, no, this definitely works on Sprint. Because see, if I update this here, it's going to transfer my Sprint account to this phone, and I don't want to do that. But that's all you have to do is update the PRL on here, and the device will work. Now, let's go to the Verizon SIM card. As you can see here, it does have Sprint. It does work. So let's move to the Verizon SIM card. I know it works on Verizon because I've already used it in here, but I just want to show you on video that both of these phones will work. Sorry if you're getting a little shaky cam. Let's put this back together. This is actually where the Verizon SIM card has been pretty much the whole time. But it'll grab service with Verizon now. It does it very fast. And I like the hot swappable, as you can see. Boom, there's LTE for Verizon. So you can see there's Verizon, and it's got full LTE for Verizon. It works with LTE for Sprint as well, but you know, I don't want to program this phone for my Sprint account. Don't want to do it, but it definitely works with LTE for Sprint and Verizon. So no worries about that. So the Moto G is definitely a go for that. You see I got the command center up, and shout out to Tony P for sending me a command center. But both phones work with LTE for Verizon, but the Moto G works with all carriers. So there you have it. Axon 7 and the Moto G4 both work with Verizon flawlessly, and they both work, well, the G4 works with Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. So no Sprint here, but all carriers here. It's your man Jay Will. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for joining me in this video. Let me put my Sprint SIM card back into this phone before I forget about it. But I appreciate you joining me in another video, man. I always like to answer questions and just show you sometimes. I got a lot of questions online about the Axon 7, but I went on ahead and demoed the G4 as well, let you know it does work on all carriers. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I appreciate you joining in. Take care.